Yo, welcome to another episode of Dub and Trey. I don't know if y'all listened to episode number 2. You probably should have by now, but that was all about what the fellas wanted. So today
Yeah,
on
yeah.
this episode, we're gonna bring it back from a different perspective. We got a Lady K with us today, and what she's gonna talk about is her perspective on what women want. So, Lady K, what do you think? One or a few of the things that men think that women want that we got it all the way twisted and confused.
So first, I want to thank you guys for having me on here. Let's get into it. We're gonna get
Yeah,
into it
yeah. Yeah,
straight
yeah.
into it.
Let's
So,
go.
so what I think guys think is that women want someone that has a lot of money,
Mm,
someone that they have the nice clothes. They don't care about his health, anything like that. It's just straight up that he's fine, man. He's fine. He drive this. He
right,
works for this.
right.
I think that's what guys think, and that's the reason why guys spend a lot of time, shopping for clothes, driving certain cars because they want women to see them. But that's not what women want. I don't think I think it's part of what women want, but not the whole part of what women want.
So when a man first meets a woman,
There
right?
you go.
And,
That's where I was gonna go with it,
right, you
Dub.
know what I mean? When a man first meets a woman, and you got to go by what we call your representative. When a woman meets that man's representative,
Mm-hmm.
it's really based on looks. It's either based on how you look, what you have, and those types of things. So I will ask you, how does the guy who is not into those things, like how does the guy who is not about driving a nice car or not about having a nice clothes, and he may not be all that attractive or whatever, how does that guy get those particular types of women's attention that does not have those things, right? It's almost like, I think some fellas feel like you almost have to have those things in order to even start the conversation before she gets to know you personally. You know what I mean?
I know what you mean. So I'm gonna tell you like this. Most people don't pay attention, but I'm one of those people. I pay attention. Now I'm married, so I don't bite on what I pay attention to. But
Mm-hmm.
a lot of people, nowadays you see people, they never make eye contact with anyone.
Right.
You know what I mean? You go in a grocery
Mm.
store, you see a guy, you might feel somebody looking at you, you looking like, oh, okay. What is he looking at? He looking at something. You stop being like, oh shoot.
Right.
So I think one of the main things how a man can do that is based on, one, both parties paying attention, listening to their, because a lot of things is based around energy.
Hmm.
People don't pay attention to energy. When you come around a person, you can feel like, I don't feel like being around this person. Same thing with being attracted to someone. They may not be the best looking. They may not be all of what a woman wants, but it's something about them that they're like, I kind of think he's attractive. But
Yeah.
somebody be like, for real? Nah. you know?
So, Lady K, I think you touched on a good point based on Dub's question. So, what you're saying to me, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, what you're saying to me is that those guys that may not look the part or have the superficial things that women are looking for in that interview stage, like Dub talked about when you first meet a woman, these guys will need to be able to articulate and have a certain level of communication and a certain level of energy, like you said, in order to get the woman's attention. Because typically, when you first meet a woman, most women, the first thing they look you up and down. They got a list of questions. What do you do for a living? Do you want kids? Do you want to be married? All of these different things. So I just want to touch on and make sure I understand that what you're saying is that most women or women in general will not focus on those superficial things if he has that good energy and communication skills.
I think it depends on the woman, right? I
Mm-hmm.
think, I'm a little older, so some of the things that I looked at in the past, I don't desire that anymore. I grew up around a lot of people that had nice cars, but you know what? They didn't have gas money to fill the tank up. They was riding, but
Right.
it's like, they didn't have any money in their pocket. Like I grew up seeing that. So it's like, I'm not focused on the materialism. I want to know what your credit's looking like.
Mm.
What I'm looking at
I heard of that.
longevity. So I think on top of that, the energy has to be matched.
Mm.
So for people to come together, the first point of contact is eye contact. You have to look. And then a lot of women chase. I just am not the type that have ever chased. I'm traditional. So even if a man is giving me the eye, or back in the past, let's say in the past, I wouldn't.
Way back.
Yeah, way back. I would not act on that. You know what I
Right.
mean? It's just like I guess he missed out. That's not the one for me, because the one for me is going to be assertive. And when he comes to me, he's going to come to me with respect. I'm not trying to, hey, what's up, shawty? How you doing? You know what I'm saying? I can't stand that.
Right.
I can't stand it.
So energy, assertive, longevity, respect, because that's a respect thing, I think, too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'm assuming that the reason that you and other women may not like that is because it sounds like he's already starting with playing games. Like he doesn't even come off as being authentic.
Right. Some women can see straight through that.
Right.
But, if you have some woman that doesn't love herself, she's going to bite. She's going to bite on any attention that she's getting. But, a woman that knows herself, you got to come correct.
Mm-hmm.
That's not going to work anymore.
And it's interesting you said that, because one of the things that we touched on in a previous conversation in that second episode was we touched on certain kind of men that target certain kinds of women. Where certain kinds of men target women who don't think much of themselves, or don't think highly of themselves, that fall for that. Hey, what's up, shorty? I can't do the same voice you just did, but
Right.
but they go for that, for that line. And and those kind of guys, when they figure out you're not that type of woman, they kind of just leave you alone. They're like, oh, she's not going for this.
Or they stick around for years hoping that you'll change your mind. Come on now. So let me say this. So you're speaking about a narcissist. So those type of men, they kind of love bomb the women. So they tell them all the good nothings, like, girl, you look good. Like, you're nice. Oh my gosh, look at your lips. Look at your face. You're so smart. You're all of these things. I can't wait to see you. And they're just eating up. Oh my gosh, they're calling their friends. Even older women call their friends. Girl, let me tell you, I just met this dude at the gym. Let me tell you, And women get so excited, right? And they're ready to dive in. They're ready to be vulnerable from the start. But then what happens, the man gets in there, and then the women, unfortunately, they give in a little too quick. And then once that happens, because they don't have compatibility, they pretty much are like, all right, I already been there and done that. They never got a chance to really get to know that woman. Then the woman is what they call gaslighted. So they just ghost them and they're gone. And then that woman is looking for that next fix. And the next thing you know, she got all types of spirits on her. She can't find love at this point.
Wow.
You know what? I'm speechless after that one right there, because we hear those stories all the time,
Right.
And a lot of times I always tell people it's okay to take your time. It's okay to slow down. And this can be for men or women, but it's okay to really understand who you're dealing with, because a lot of times your emotions may take you down the wrong road. But that's very insightful. And I'm glad you pointed that out. You know what I mean? So
now, from that perspective of what you just said, and definitely correct me if I misheard, it sounds like some women are sort of in love with the thought of being in love, to the point where they don't even really see the dude that's in front of them. Like I can't even see who he really is, because I'm so in love with who I wish he was, or who I want him to be, or the kind of man that I think I want in my life, that I can't see like how shitty this dude is, because I'm in love with the thought of being in love with someone.
Right. So that starts off as from childhood. When you're a little girl, what do you let your kids watch? I don't have daughters, I have sons, but we always watched Disney. Like, we wanted to be a princess. We wanted some type of prince to come and save us, right? And so you instill that in your daughters, like, since they're young. But then you realize when you get older that the fairy tale doesn't exist. It just doesn't. So everything that we imagined it to be, it just doesn't happen. For me, I just love love. So I've always been the type of person who I wanted that fairy tale, but I also wanted the fantasy, like kind of, and I don't mean that in necessarily in a sexual way, but
Right.
just in a sense where we can escape reality by being with each other, if that makes sense. So I think for women, a lot of them are still that little girl wishing for that prince to come and save them. On top of that, some of them don't have fathers, so they don't know what it is to have a man love. So it's deeper than what people think, you know?
Right.
I definitely agree with you on that, because you find yourself having conversations with and even having debates. You find yourself having debates with people who really haven't, especially women, really have this urge to want to be in a great relationship. And I don't knock anybody for that. Who doesn't want to be in a great relationship and
Mm-hmm.
maybe get married and have kids and a white picket fence and everything?
Mm-hmm.
But I do think that women are judged by their peers. Women are judged by their friends, their families, on what status that looks like, on
Mm-hmm.
how their relationship looks like in this base. And then your character comes into question, right? I was like, okay, so if you got 2 women that are single and 10 women that are married, there's a thing there. There's something there that creates more pressure for
Mm-hmm.
those single women. You know what I mean? So I just think you definitely touched on that. It comes from childhood. That's definitely good for the fellas to understand, how women feel and what they want and why they ask the questions that they ask. Because
Right.
again, we may take it as just, oh man, she tripping. There she go
Right.
tripping again. She's trying to put a press on a brother.
Right.
But it's really but it's really deeper than that. You know
Yeah,
what
it's
I
deeper
mean?
than that. But I don't want to stay in a heavy space, you know what I mean? Because it's like when we are attracted to a man, we're looking, yeah, we are imagining all of that. And I'm not speaking for all women, because there's a lot of independent women that are happy being single. They're happy having multiple partners. So let me just say, I'm not judging anybody. Let me put that out there. I don't want anybody coming for me. But at the end of the day, it's all about what people want. Like, they have to be honest about what they want.
Right.
Y'all
Mhm.
asking me, what do women want? I can
What
speak
do
for
women want?
myself.
Yeah.
I can
Mhm.
speak for myself, but I can't speak for all women.
Right.
So I can give you that list. You want to know what I want?
That's right. That's what we want. Give it to us.
Okay. All right, cool. So before I do that, what I want to touch on something that y'all said, because we were talking about representatives, right?
Mhm.
So what if we had like some glasses where we could see, you know, how men really feel, what men really think. You know what I'm saying?
To the
What if they
core.
had
To the core, right?
to the core? Like,
Yeah.
what if I had some glasses and on the top of these dudes' foreheads,
Ooh.
it says, man, my name is Michael and I'll beat your ass. or, or, I hit women. Or,
Right. Right.
whatever the
Yeah.
Right.
case may
I
be.
got
What if
bad
we could
credit.
really see
Right.
that?
I
Then you
really
be
don't
like,
have a
hey, how
job.
you doing? I don't have a job. I
This
live with
car ain't
no
mine.
offense.
No shade. No
My
shade
name,
out there, people.
I
Right.
don't live with my mama. My mama lives with me. Yeah, right.
Yeah, yeah,
You
yeah,
know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah, yeah, yeah,
So I think it's very important for women to ask questions, man. Like, how many children do you have? Are your children in your life? All of these things. So
Mm-hmm.
then
Okay.
you're not baby mama number 5,
Right.
you know?
Right.
So, but anyway, so what I will tell you what I wanted when I was dating, and what I have, and what some things that most women I think desire.
Yeah.
And the first thing is security, right? And when I say security, I mean not just on a financial standpoint, but also just someone that a woman feels safe with. Feel safe. Like,
Mhm.
I feel safe opening my heart 100% with this person. I feel safe, like, allowing this person to manage our finances or whatever the case may be.
Mm-hmm.
So I think security is number one, knowing that if we go out, I'm protected. Kind of like, I'm not saying do what Will did, but
Right.
but I'm like that 1%, like, okay, that was the wrong place and time for
Mhm.
that. But he felt he needed to do what he had to do, and he got to deal with that. The second thing I think is communication is huge. I think communication is huge from the start when you first meet a person. You don't have to dig deep from the start. You just want to know, is this person fun? Can we hang out together without me looking at my watch and being, can you stay on the phone for hours? Remember when we were young and we would be on the phone with people until the sun came up?
That's right.
Whatever happened to that? People don't have conversations like that anymore. Now it's all about texting and emojis. But I still like having conversations,
Yeah, it's definitely a different time now.
It's a different time. Like, how can you really get to know someone when they sending you a heart emoji, a queen emoji, and a cat? What are you saying to me?
Right. What does that mean? Right.
What does that mean?
You're a grown ass man sending emojis.
Sending emojis. You gotta Google it so you can find out what it is. They abbreviating everything. What does that mean? I don't know what that means.
Hey,
what does that mean?
Fellas, take note. If you listen to this podcast, take note. Stop communicating through them damn emojis. Pick up the damn phone and talk to her.
And have a conversation.
Have a damn conversation.
That's if that's somebody that you're really interested in, because you don't want to spend your time giving, because that's a lot of your time is worth something.
Absolutely, it's worth everything. It's worth everything.
Yeah, and that was on the guys list. Communication was on the guys list.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't use. You gave a good example when it came to the emojis and texting. What I used for the men was playing these damn card games. And I'm like, why can't we just have a real conversation? So I kind of spoke about that and kind of in line with what you're saying, that communication is key. You can't really learn anything by just texting. You need to have face-to-face conversation and have conversation on the phone, because and like you pointed out, it's a gap in the communication. Another thing that I think is very critical, the tone is very different when you're reading something compared to when you say something. You may say something and I may interpret that tone through a text in a negative light. But if we're on the phone having a conversation, it can be interpreted completely differently. So that's a very good point. So what else you got? Communication. What else do women want?
Well, attached to that communication, they have to be able to have deep conversations. I need to know that you know about history, you know about politics, like we can talk about all things of the world. You know what I mean? Like I don't want to sit up there and talk about TV shows, things like that. Like, let's get deep. Let's talk about things in the world. Like, what are we going to do together? The goals, like, what are your goals? That's, oh my gosh, that's terrible. Like, this is like the worst thing. I used to talk to this guy back in the days, and he was always about to do something, right? So he's like, yeah, I'm about to do this, I'm about to do that. And I'm like, oh, okay, cool. That's exciting. I'm excited for you. And, but then it never happens. You know what I mean? It never happens.
About to do.
We
know a lot of those dudes.
But hold on. But the about to dudes, guess who they become? The used to be's.
The used to be dudes.
Hey man, I'm trying to tell you, I used to drop threes in the bucket. I used to do this, man. I used to drive a whip. What you doing now, Slim?
Yeah.
What you doing now? What are you doing now? You can't live in your past. You can't. What you about to do? And
yeah. I mean, you gotta show your ambition to a woman, and you cannot be, complacent and be just continuously say, it's okay to tell someone what you want to do and what you got going on, but you have to show that action. So I definitely agree. You got to be able to show the action. You got to be able to show those things.
And you definitely got to want it for yourself. It's something that you say, hey, regardless if we're together or not, this is something I'm doing for me because this is where I want to go.
Yeah, your woman shouldn't have to motivate you.
That's it.
Or the woman you're dating. The woman you're dating shouldn't have to motivate you, because what happens is that it's like you spoke about earlier, Lady K, about longevity. That goes into what we talked about from the man's perspective, consistency. So you can't have longevity if you're just pretending. It becomes a job and you're going to fall off, and then the woman's going to be looking at you like, I thought this was you. Like, and then
Yeah.
next thing you know, the woman's getting cussed out because of the perception that we started off being this type of man. And Dub alluded to this in the first episode, and I kind of challenged him on it because I was like, we used the term expectations and the representative. So it's a fine line you got to walk. It's good to have a representative if that representative characteristics is truly you.
That's right.
Right.
And you're really that person. It's just like, okay, I need to show her who I am right away because, you know, she may be doing the interview and it's like, I don't have a lot of time. But I, you know, in my perspective, this is my own perspective and I'm kind of going off a little bit, but I'm gonna come back. I think it's okay for a woman to waste time to a certain extent. When I say waste time, meaning that if you jump the gun and do the example that you gave, Lady K, in regards to a woman just getting tied up into it and she puts her all into it and she goes and gets married, right? And next thing you know, this guy wakes up and say, man, I was just playing. This ain't really me. I don't want to do this no more.
Right.
And the reason why it got that far is because she's on a schedule. She's getting pressure from her mama, her grandmama, you know, all these different people that are in her life. And I say it's okay to waste time because you don't want to end up with the wrong guy.
Correct.
So it's okay to date this guy 6 months. You know, some guys can have a representative out there depending on time for however long.
Forever.
So,
I know.
For decades.
Forever.
right. So you might want to date this guy for a long period of time. And then you find out a year in, you find out that it's not what it was. And then women get frustrated and say, hey, I wasted a year. No, you wasted a year, but you could have been in that year's time. You could have had a marriage and had children by this man, and it could have been a lot worse than what it is. So don't look at it as quote unquote wasted time. Just look at it as like I'm just learning. I'm learning the
learn
lessons
from every experience.
You learn from every single thing.
Right.
So,
yeah. The other thing is honesty. I can't stand liars. Just be honest. Like, you know, like I understand like some men, like you said, they want to show up with their representative, but at the end of the day, how hard would it be to just show up being yourself? Now, I get someone wanting to put their best foot forward. Like I love the movie Hitch. I don't know if you've ever seen Hitch, but like Hitch kind of helps people, you know, kind of put their best foot forward, have build their self-esteem and stuff like that, because everybody's nervous, I think, when they first go on their first date, right? Even the men don't like to show that they're nervous, but they're nervous too, right? But then they get there and they have to remove their ego. The ego has to go to the side just for a little while.
And be honest.
And be honest. And I don't know why that's so hard with people. You know
what? I think that's difficult for some people because they don't believe they're interesting enough just being who they are.
There you go.
Especially being from the area that we are from. A lot of people feel like they have to own something or be something more than themselves to be interesting to everyone, including the woman they're dating or the man they're dating, right? And like you just said, the representative isn't someone who you should be showing as like a fake you. It should be the best version of you, right?
Yes.
Your representative should be the best version of you.
Yeah, I agree. You should definitely be the best characteristics of you. You want to put those things on the table.
And I'll say that something to your point, Trey, about women wasting time. And I'm gonna say this: if you meet a guy, he's always going to have his representative, whether it's the best him, the fake him, or whatever. The way you determine if it's the real or the fake him, you have to challenge his thoughts. You have to challenge what he says. You have to challenge if he asks him a bunch of damn questions. If he don't have answers, you are not talking to the real him.
And to add to that, watch how his environment treats him. Watch how his family treats him. Watch how his peers treat him. Watch how his boys treat him. There is truth in those environments from a woman's perspective. If you really want to know, there's truth in that. Not to say that his environment can't be toxic, but if he has good characteristics, his environment is gonna show that he has good characteristics. They're going to be people who are going to appreciate him, and you're going to see that firsthand that people appreciate him. So yeah.
So we got what we got. We got security. We got communication. We got worldly, like you said worldly. You know, a guy who can speak about worldly things.
Yeah, because you can get a educated asshole.
That's right.
You can get an educated asshole.
You can definitely get an educated asshole.
And we got honesty, right?
Yes, we have honesty.
All right, what's next?
We can't forget about the aesthetics. Ooh. Come on now. Come through aesthetics. Come through. I mean, I know men, y'all know y'all are visual people. Mm-hmm. But we are too. Mm. Okay?
Well groomed.
Some of us, what? Beard.
We got a show about that. Yeah.
Beard.
Gotta stay well groomed, fellas. You got to stay well groomed, man.
So,
going to the dentist.
Yep, and having clean fingernails. A lot of guys, it's nothing wrong with working hard out in the field, but you got it. I mean, I don't have no shine on your fingernails, but
no shine, fellas.
No shine. But them fingernails have to be clean. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna share a story with you. I'm not gonna. Only my friends know who this is. Back in the days, I met a celebrity, and he was trying to get at me, but his nails were bitten down and really, really nasty looking, right? So I wouldn't bite because of his nails. Like at the time, he wasn't huge. He's huge now, but I'm like, I don't regret that decision, because it's like, if you have you have certain things that your non-negotiables, you can't pivot on that. You got to stick with what you know.
Right.
And I just the fingernails, I can't do them.
So to ask a question in regards to that. So you're telling me, and this is for the fellas, because this show is about what women want. Mm-hmm. So you're telling me that women will look at a specific thing in regards to this topic that we're on, and if it's not up to par, they will make a call that means that, if he's not taking care of his own self and his own hygiene and his own appearance, then how can I expect this man to do all these other great things? Is that the concept?
Yeah, so every woman has their own thing, right? Just like men you guys have your own thing too, right? Mm-hmm. As it relates to that. So like my thing may be, I can't deal with somebody with dirty shoes and crazy looking fingernails. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Somebody else may say, man, he got to have all his teeth, Or some people like bald heads, some people don't. It's to the person's preference, right?
Right.
You see a lot of people that may not necessarily be that attractive with beautiful people.
That's very true.
Like you look at them, you're like, dang, how did that person get that person? But
right.
They obviously have something.
Yeah.
That's why it's more than just the physical. The physical can be fixed. It's in the details.
All right, so let's take it a step further, man. Let's, what do women want when it comes to sex?
Well, hold on. Before we go there, hold on. Before we go there.
Okay.
Was you done with your list? Because this question is going to switch. Yeah, this question is going to switch gears a little bit. I just want to make sure that that we done where we at now.
Okay, but before we dive into the sex, right? Yeah. I got something that's going to help dudes out.
All right.
I promise you. All right. So I want everybody to check out the 5 love languages. Mm-hmm. Okay. When you meet a woman, just talk about, like, maybe go through and just figure out what it is that she wants, right? Because that's how you can determine. Do you guys know about the 5 love languages?
I have heard of it, definitely.
Okay. So I'm going to list the 5 love languages. You have words of affirmation. You have quality time. You have gifts, acts of service, and physical touch. Okay. So of those 5, women are going to want different things, right? So my love language is quality time and physical touch. But let's say that you and your wife or your girlfriend or whomever, you do something wrong. The way that you get back is to give them their love language, right? So Mine is not acts of service. So if I'm mad at you about something, don't go wash my car. I might only need a hug. Just give me a hug. I'm good.
Fellas, I hope y'all listening out here.
I'm trying to teach you. I'm giving you game for free.
This is good stuff right here because I'm taking notes myself.
Yeah. Because you think, okay, I'm gonna do an act of service for this person, but that might not be their love language.
Mm-hmm.
One thing I know about men, you like words of affirmation, right? So you like for a woman to tell you you're great, you look good, you smell good, you know, all of the good stuff.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But for women, I think most women, they just want time and attention. That's it. That's it.
Fellas, I hope y'all are listening. And Lady K, is this something that we can go and look at? Is it a test that we need to take, or?
It's called the 5 love languages. Just go Google it.
And men need to ask their ladies or the woman they're pursuing, they need to find out what that woman's love language is.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay.
Because a man will go out there and buy her diamonds, and she might just want a hug. You're wasting your money. You know, but there are some women that say, "F the hug, I want the gift."
Diamonds.
Yeah. So you got to know who you dealing with.
I want that bag.
They want the bag. I don't want the bag. I want a building. I saw a quote the other day. I don't want the Birkin. I want the building.
I like that.
Buy me a business. But all right. So we're gonna talk about sex now.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. So sex, yeah. What is it that again, same question. What is it that men think women want sexually that I'm gonna say we have it all the way messed up and wrong?
Okay, in all honesty, I am not the sexual guru. But I will say what I think women want is someone to pretty much make them the center of attention. You're focused on them. You know every part of this woman's body from her head to her toe.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you have to know where her erogenous zones are.
Mm-hmm.
You can't just, somebody might not want a man to be licking all on their ears.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
He been doing that.
That's his move.
He been doing that shit since high school.
That's his move. Every man has a move.
Every man got. See, you know what? Now
every man got their
there.
move.
We're not going to.
But you got to know your body type. Like you got to know your body type. You can't be, doing certain moves like,
right.
Come here, girl, and now you got.
Come here, girl. Let me rock your world.
It's not gonna work anymore.
No. She like, go sit your ass down.
Right. So let me ask you a question about that then. If he got the same move, does there ever come a time where you say, baby, I know you think I like it when you shove your tongue in my ear, but really that's just disgusting. And I really wish you would stop it. Right? At what point do you back to that communication piece, right?
Exactly.
How difficult is it to have that communication in the bedroom for the ladies without feeling like you stepping on your man's ego? Because if you don't let him think he been doing his thing for 5, 10, 50, however long, and then all of a sudden you're like, okay, I think it's time to have this talk where I got to tell him that for the last 5 years, I've hated every time he done did this damn thing. And if I had those glasses on that you was talking about that the dudes have on, it would say, oh my God, here we go again. This same old shit, right?
You got to switch it up. You have to make it fun. You have to make it interesting. If you don't want your man to step out, go buy a few colorful wigs, go get some toy, whatever you need to do to make it interesting. If you're doing the same thing every time, it's going to get boring.
Right.
So basically what you're saying is that the fellas need to understand the woman when it comes to sex, we need to focus on addressing whatever it is that she's into, whether it's foreplay, whether it's these things sexually. If we want to please our women, we need to stop doing what we think is right or doing what we think is going to please that woman and get more in tune about what she thinks is sexual pleasure, what her things are, whether it be just, it may just be sitting in the bed just cuddling. That may turn her on, you know what I mean, or what have you. But So you're saying that we need to focus on what she wants. Don't go in there with your with your one track mind, thinking that she gonna like this. I'm about to lay it down.
Right.
So, it's crazy because I think the way for any man to get it is through foreplay. And foreplay doesn't start in the bedroom. Foreplay starts the week before. You come home, you give her some compliments, smack her on her behind, like, girl, come here, whatever. But I think the thing that a lot of men tend to do is that they go through the week and then they go out with the fellas, they come home, I'm trying to get it, they trying to get
After
it.
them drinks.
Right.
After the drinks, but it's like, what did you do all week? You ignored me. And so when they say sex stops during marriage, that's not true. It doesn't stop during marriage. If you not dropping the bar, as my best friend will always say, don't drop the bar. That goes for men and women.
That's right.
Because that woman still might think she got the body and she telling some, hey, boo, hey. And she done had a few kids. That stomach hanging in this, it don't look the same.
And
I
what?
am not fat shaming.
I'm not saying nothing.
You make a great point, because one thing we talked about in that Well Men Want episode is having that hard conversation, because that's not an easy conversation to have with your significant other about them doing something that you don't like anymore, or something that you want to say, hey, won't we try doing this? Because again, depending on that person's ego, they might go, oh, so you haven't liked anything I've been doing, therefore I'm just going to not do anything at all. Right. It takes a really, you have to be really in tune with each other to have that type of honest relationship in the bedroom, and really learn from the conversation, and not take it as, oh, you're not happy with me, and we just gonna stop having sex because you don't like what I do, right? And I'm talking, and I'm talking to the fellas with this, because back to that, if you're not asking your lady at least at some point, hey, am I pleasing you, or having that communication, as Lady K said before, man, you gotta push your ego to the side. You gotta let that ego. You gotta let that ego go, man.
You ask, when should you have that conversation? And I think you should have that conversation after the first time. After the first time that you do it, right after that, you should, when y'all talking or whatever, you should just tell the person. They should know from the start.
Right.
Absolutely. Yeah. Women are very strategic about how they're going to communicate whether or not a man is pleasing them physically. And they base it off of whether or not this man can appear to be an open-minded type of person. If he's not an open-minded type of person, she won't even bring it up. But fellas, going back to what Dub said, you have to be willing to put your pride aside, and you got to be willing to be criticized or critiqued, if you will, and make those proper adjustments. The point is, she's with you. Okay, let's get down to it. She's with you. So if she has some concerns or some things that you can do better, take heed to those things. It's not about her comparing you to somebody else. She may just feel like you need to be more in tune with some of the things that she likes, because what ultimately is going to happen is that this intimate experience that's supposed to be enjoyful becomes work from either side. And when that happens, is game over.
Yeah, because if the woman or the man isn't confident during sex, then it's just it's not good. It's not gonna be good. So, now you're thinking too much.
And I mean, it's a fine line, because a lot of men won't. A woman may say, "Hey, I don't want to tell him that," because then it's going to shatter his confidence. So, a lot of women may feed into the confidence. She may feel like, I hate when he does this specific thing. Like,
But you know what that is, Trey? That's love. Some women stay with men with their shortcomings. My friends, I didn't talk to a few people. They deal with a couple of things, and I don't know if I can get there with that. We need you to last a little longer.
Okay, stamina. Stamina is something that women want.
They want that. They
women want stamina. Okay, all right. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Fellas, y'all here?
That's right.
Get it together.
We got center of attention, focused, and we got stamina. Right?
On both ends.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Women need to eat their fruit. Eat your fruit, women.
Yeah, that's right.
All right. Cool.
All right. What we got next? What's next on the list?
Okay, so men need to I want to say that men need to nurture a little bit. A man that's nurturing, not only as a father, but to their woman. I think it's like it goes both ways for men. Everything that I'm saying that women want, I feel like men kind of want that too. You know what I mean? So it's like I don't want this, even though this
we
is
talked
about
about that.
what women want. I think it should be an even exchange. Like your partner should be your best friend. Y'all should be able to talk about any and everything. And that's hard. That's hard for some people. It's hard to find that.
I think those things are hard for some people because they are really wrapped up in what the world tells them a man should be and what a woman should be. So like that nurturing part.
Mhm.
I think that a lot of women, I can't even say a lot. I think some women don't know how to express that because nurturing almost sounds like I need you. And I think a lot of women, some women have a problem with expressing that, hey, I need you to nurture me in a whatever kind of way it is. But that need, like people really have a problem of using of showing that emotion of needing the person that they're with. And there's nothing wrong with that, right? If you love someone and you're with that person, there is a need for that person in your life. Like you've developed that need. And I think that people are afraid to be that vulnerable to show like, hey, I need your attention. I need your nurturing, and I just think that plays a huge part in people getting separated and divorced because they don't want to be vulnerable enough to at least break down and say, you know what? I do need you, right? I do need your nurturing. I do need your conversation. I do need your touch. That ego, and I don't know. It's just a weird thing to have to deal with for people, and breaking those walls down emotionally for someone to show like, hey, this is what I want from you, right?
Yeah.
And to piggyback off of that, the reason, my opinion about the reason why I think that happens is because of so many people in these people's lives, whether it be a man or woman, have abused that need.
That's a good point.
People have taken that woman's need and they have abused it, right? So then when it comes to the guy who's actually worthy of this, she's not going to budge because she said, now I went through this 10 times. It's not going to be an 11th time. I don't need you. She not only is she going to say that, she's going to tell you, I don't need you.
Right.
I'm good. You do whatever it is you need to do, but I'm going to react off of what it is you're doing. And sometimes that can be, and for the men as well, but this is about the women. I'm just saying that I think that's why the pride is there, the walls are there, the I don't need no man, I don't need this, I don't need that. And in actuality, we all yearn for a great relationship. We all yearn for someone to love us unconditionally, but not too many people are going to tell you that. And even from the man side, you don't hear men coming around other men, and we don't say, oh man, I'm so in love and I need her. I can't live without her. And no, it's an ego thing going on. It's
but it's a whole bunch of them that got away. Oh man, she the one that got away.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Because they didn't tap into what we're talking about now. You gotta, so fellas, definitely tap into your emotions when it comes to having that integrity and letting your woman know how important she is. Because what's going to happen is that she's going to make the assumption that she's not important. And when that happens, you got a lot of other issues. But yeah, back to what you were saying, Dove, I think it has a lot to do with the history. It has a lot to do with everything that people have abused the love that people share in unconditional love when someone says, hey, I need you. I really want you here. I really want you in my life. And then this person just goes and either lies or abuses that, that love.
Yep. Pay attention to red flags. Just pay attention to red flags. When you see the first, whatever you see, believe it the first time, as they say. Believe it
Yeah.
the first time.
Is that the intuition that women always use? Is that what you're talking about there?
People, you said we put on rose-colored glasses, that car is blinding them, them shades, and man, it's summertime is coming, cuff season is over.
Everybody about to get brand new.
You know how you go outside, you in your car, you at the light, you could feel somebody staring. You see somebody leaning down, looking. That's what men need to realize when we as women leave the house. When we go to work, when we're at the stoplight and the grocery stores, they are on us. And then you come home, some women, I don't deal with that, but I'm just saying some women come home and the man ignores them.
Right.
And they wonder why they cheating with the dude on the job, why they have work husbands.
Right. Right.
That work husband is giving that woman attention.
So give your woman attention, fellas.
And women give your men attention because it's the same. Like I said, it's on both sides. It's on both sides, You got to cater to the men too, but like men don't take advantage of it. Because women will shut down. They'll shut down.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah. So, that's what I take out of this conversation. Like, don't abuse whatever access you have to your significant other.
Yep. And work at the relationship. And when you select the woman that you want to be committed to, make sure she's the one that you want. Fully. Or just remain single.
Right.
Let's speak on that. Speak on that, though. Like when you say make sure she's the one that you want, talk about that a little bit. What do you elaborate on that? Are you saying basically a lot of times men kind of are 1 foot in and 1 foot out? 1 minute they want to act as though they want to be committed, and then the next minute they don't.
I don't think it's a choice like that. What I think is happening, there are so many more women. The ratio is just totally off, right?
Right.
So there's so many beautiful women and less men. So it's like a man may see somebody and they're like, oh, they meet them, they're dating them. But then somebody shows up in their DM. Everything is on social media now. People are, they pop up in your DM,
Yeah.
So, you go to the page, they have nice bodies, they doing things like, oh, shoot, well, wait. I think that to build that solid foundation from the very beginning, having a friendship with your significant other, being honest about what you want. If you're not happy, as soon as you have that feeling, you go at her and say, listen, babe, I'm feeling some type of way.
Right.
I don't know what it is, but I'm feeling some type of way.
Don't just keep going like nothing's going on.
Right. And surprisingly, I'm not against polygamous relationships. A lot of people are like, what the hell? But I say that because I'm not going to go all religious, but from a religious standpoint, in every nation, mostly, a lot of them had multiple wives, but they could afford them.
Right. You had to treat them equally. You couldn't.
You had to treat them. Well, no. The first wife was like she's like the top tier, but I'm just saying I'm not against it. I wouldn't want it, but I'm saying I'm not completely against it, because if that's something that a man desires, if a man is man enough and financially stable enough to have more than one, instead of having a man cheat, why not just
just go with it?
Just go with it.
Yeah.
If he can meet your needs and everything you require of him, no matter how demanding they are, if he's completely satisfying you financially, emotionally, everything, then yeah, I guess
everything.
Why not, huh?
And I bet you I'm not alone in this.
I can definitely see that there's probably a different level of honesty that's going on as well, and confidence in a situation like that. You know what I mean? Because at that point, you have no excuse but to be honest. Like there's no reason for you to be deceptive. Everyone's being transparent,
I mean, divorce is for our community. Divorce is just terrible. I
It
mean,
Yeah.
is.
Black love is dying off, I feel like. And at
Yeah.
some point we have to figure it out. We have to figure it out.
Got to figure it out.
Do you think that's happening because it's not celebrated as much as being single or being out there? You know what I'm saying? I feel like it's far more celebrated to deal with multiple partners than it is to say, hey, this woman or this man loves the person that they're with and they're all about this person. And it's like, that's cool, that's great, good for you. But I don't think it's celebrated enough like the other side. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. And we wonder why we're behind the bar. And it's
Right.
because not only in relationships, but in friendships and in business and everything,
Mm.
we tend to not know how to work together.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Right.
Sometimes the husbands and wives are in competition with each other.
Mm-hmm.
We just have to start, like, conversations like these are necessary, I think, and for people to start thinking about those things. Don't
That's
just go to the other side because you think it's better. Find a woman that possesses those qualities. They're out here.
right.
Mm-hmm.
Those are great points. So I have 10 words or small phrases or whatever you want to call them, and I want to get your thoughts on them. Right, your thoughts from a scale of 1 to 10 on how important they are to you when it comes to a man. All right.
Okay.
So the first one is chivalry. Where does that sit with you?
Oh, that is at least an 8 or 9.
Okay.
It's important for a man to that goes back to that whole respect thing, right? Sometimes a woman may not have respect for themselves, right? But a man will teach them that. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you're the type of woman, like, you have a lot of what they say alpha females out here.
Mm-hmm.
Ladies, when you go out on a date with your boyfriend or your husband, give him time to open the door for you. Don't just jump out the car or, like, walk up and you opening the door and swinging it back and holding it for him to come in.
Right.
Have some class.
Yes, right. You have to
teach him how to exactly.
Yeah.
Stand there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Just stand there. And then if he opens your car door, ladies, lean over and open his.
Mm-hmm. I love it.
My husband and I still do that to this day.
Wow. That's amazing.
Love it.
Fellas, I hope y'all are listening up. I hope you're listening up.
All right. Second one, sense of humor.
Oh, man. I think these are going to all be 10s. That's so important. I can't take anybody. Like I said, the educated asshole. I need some humor, man.
All right.
Yeah.
I can't. You have to be lighthearted. You know, whatever that looks like to you. You can't go around life serious. Laughter is so peaceful. You just have to have it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's like I would say an 8 or 9 for that as well.
All right. Number 3, confidence.
I would say maybe a 7. That can be worked on.
Okay. All right. What about you've already alluded to this one, protective. In that
10.
security area, right?
10.
Easy to read.
That for me is not really important. As far as a person being easy to read, because I think that people should choose when to allow themselves to be vulnerable. I don't think people should just jump out there like, ta-da, this is me, because people will use you. People will use you. They'll talk about you, so you have to at some point have some protection of yourself as well.
Absolutely.
So I would say for that, I would say like a 3. It's
okay.
Not really.
And I think I already know this one, attentive. You've already hit that one already.
I would say an 8 or 9. It's not a 10 though.
Yeah.
8 or 9, and again, that goes for both sides.
Mm-hmm. What about being a leader?
So, okay. I'm glad you said that. Being a leader would probably for me would be a 9 or 10. The reason why you have a lot of alpha females out here is because the men have not stepped into positions to lead. And so women naturally will step up and handle business. It's the way that I think we were created. We were created to be the helpmates as wives. So if a man is not doing it, the woman will step up and she will do it. But I think it's, I'm not going to get all political, but a lot of that was created to put the woman above the man
Right.
in our community.
Mm.
And
I
so
agree.
that's why you have less submissive women. Like, I'm an alpha female, but I'm also submissive in my household.
Right.
So you have to, just like we code switch at work, we go from "What's up, shawty?"
That's
and
right.
we go to work, and then we off the "Good morning, how are you?" Good morning. You have to be the same way with your man, and especially when he's around other men.
Mm,
You
that's right.
hold yourself as a lady. So that is that's very important.
Okay. What about next one? Respect for other women.
Elaborate on that.
Dealing with a man who is very disrespectful to other women, but not to you. Can you sit around and can you deal with your man being disrespectful to other women as long as he's not disrespectful to you? And on the flip side, what if he is a gentleman to other women just because he's a gentleman?
So that I think that's a given. I don't think a man should be disrespectful to a woman, but I also think a woman shouldn't be disrespectful to a man. I mean, let's be real. There's some disrespectful women out here, and they need to be put in their place.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say that that's hard to rate because I think it's situational.
Okay.
Yeah. Dub, I want to say something about that respect thing. That's a good one. Fellas, just a word of advice. If you have respect for your lady and you're out with your lady, this is just an example, and you're out with your lady, you should normally have respect for women in general. Let's just be clear. You should have respect for women in general. But I'm going to take it a step further. If you're out with your lady, right, I'm going to give you a good example. This has happened. This has probably happened to a lot of guys. If you're around an environment where other men are being disrespectful, please understand that she's looking at that. She's paying attention to what your environment is doing, even though you may not be doing anything disrespectful. So whether it's a friend, whether it's a coworker, whether it's family, if there's disrespectful things being said and you and your woman or your girlfriend are in that environment, these things are what will concern her. You need to address those things. For me, I'm gonna address it. I'm gonna go right to the source and say, hey, that's not cool. That's not how we don't talk like that. We not moving like that. That's not what we doing. So men, understand that it shouldn't just be you. It should be your environment as well. That's my point to this. Because as you get older and as you become more evolved and learn, your respect should not just represent you and your woman. Your respect should evolve around your family and your friends. And guess what? You might have to address your mama or your daddy. You might have to address your brother or your sister or your cousin or your best friend. It doesn't matter.
And that's very important, Trey, because a lot of times the men need friends, the women need friends. So when a man is out of pocket, as a friend, just be like, homie, like that's not cool.
Right. Exactly.
When a woman is doing something, you tell them straight up, like that's not okay.
Right.
If that's your true friend, and you're right, you should go to source.
Right.
That's the best thing to do, is to go. And if somebody cares about somebody, they're gonna go and try to fix it.
Right. Absolutely.
Right. Exactly.
All right. Next one. Spontaneity.
Oh yeah, that's important. So like you don't want, like I said, even when it comes to the sex, you can't be doing the same stuff.
Same
Don't
move.
do the same. Don't do the same. Don't do that. I wish on the ear. Yeah. Yeah. That's not okay.
All right.
I think it's important. I would say like a 6 or 7.
Okay. Next one, God fearing.
10.
All right. Spirituality.
There's levels to that.
Mhm.
And I think that comes with growth. A lot of us are spiritual beings, and a lot of us don't know how to navigate that, right? So it's like I was speaking about the intuition. You may think that it's you feeling some type of way, but you might be, man, maybe I'm tripping. But
Right.
then when things happen, you're like, dang, I knew that was going to happen, right?
Right.
So I think like paying attention to your intuition is so important. So I would say, um, even with the God fearing, spirituality and God fearing, I think are one and the same.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think that would be an 8 or a 9 for me as well.
All right. Last one I got is pretty easy one. Frugal.
When you say frugal, okay, do you mean, because when you say frugal, the first word that came to mind was cheap, right? And that could be
So that's why I said frugal and not cheap.
All right, boom. So if a man invites a woman out, he should pay.
I agree. 100%.
I'm not opposed to a woman paying for things if it's something that she planned, right? So if a woman plans something, then it's okay for a woman to pay. Don't rely on the man to pay for everything. But if a man is inviting a woman out on a date, he should be responsible for paying that bill. And don't come with no coupons or no gift cards trying to pay. Don't show up in your nice car and stuff and then just be like, how much. Don't ever ask how much is this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah.
Men, please don't ask how much is this.
Tasteless.
Now,
it's tasteless.
It's tasteless. It is.
It is.
Do your
Very
research.
so.
If you don't have the money, it's okay. It's okay. You can still get as what is his name, Kevin something. You can still get a high value
Kevin
woman.
Samuels.
Yeah, you can still get a high value woman, but you just have to have that ambition.
Right.
But no, I can't do cheap. Sorry. We have to be frugal in terms of saving and being smart about your money.
Yeah.
There's that longevity, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's very important. So if you meaning frugal from that aspect, then yes, I would say an 8 or a 9, because we want to be able to sustain and we want to have generational wealth. So that's definitely important. But if somebody's just tight, like, nah, I don't,
Mm-hmm. Right.
That's not okay.
So the premise that I came from that word is thinking about a relationship where the guy or whoever, one of the people in a relationship are very conscious of the money that's being spent, right?
Oh,
very
yeah.
conscious of it. And then the other person relationship is like, nah, come on, we got to spend this bag. I want this. I want that. I want this. I want that. We got it. Why can't I have XYZ? So I brought that up because I don't think, again, I don't think a lot of, I keep saying a lot, I don't think enough women know how to appreciate a frugal man who is frugal for a purpose, not because he's cheap, right? But he has other goals in his mind that he's not about to go out and just spend all this money on you just because he can. It doesn't mean he doesn't value you. It's just, this isn't worth, now compared to what he has planned for the future.
Right. And that is so important. We didn't talk about that.
Very important.
A man with a plan. Oh my gosh. That's foreplay.
Dub, you hit it right on the head. Fellas, you need to take time out of your day or your situation that you have with your woman. If she continuously is like, I want to go out, take me out, take me out, take me out, and you're trying to be the gentleman that you are, and you're trying to make sure that you cover these expenses, and you know that you have these goals in play, you need to say literally word for word what Dub just said. You need to have that conversation with your woman and say, hey, look, I want us to have a future. So what I'm gonna need you to do is, like, every weekend, I can't spend $300-400 on us going out because you like to drink Class Azul and XO, and we got to have a table, and we got to pop bottles, and you got all these different expectations, and that's fine for those moments in time where we want to, kick back and put our feet up and let our head down. But on a consistent basis, we should be building. We should be building. We should be investing. And if you are not telling her this, you will find yourself in a very, very deep hole, because what's going to happen is that the woman's not concerned about your finances. She won't be concerned about your finances if you're not. You need to start with yourself. Right. You need to be concerned, and if you're concerned, then you need to have that concern, that conversation with her, and let her know, I'm saying this to you because you're important to me, because I want to be with you. I want to grow with you, and I'm sure Lady K can co-sign that. Like, there are other things that you can do that you don't need to spend, hundreds and hundreds of dollars on.
No, that's easy. Going to the club, getting a table, popping bottles, that's easy. That takes no thought. But, planning a day out at a park with going to get some food that she really enjoys from the grocery store, and just get a blanket sitting out, like, that's like the best thing, You got to be careful how you pull them. So if you pulling them with your representative, and that representative coming with that bag, and you start off like that, don't complain when that money run out.
Right.
Because she going to expect that, she want that same energy.
Exactly.
So you gotta think about that,
right. And that's when you start getting called a gold digger, and yo, you just
Why?
want me, you just want me for my money.
Carrot.
Yeah, you just want me for my money. It's like, well, that's
That
what you use to get her.
That's what you use to get her.
You used the bag to get her, and now that she won it, now you mad at her, right?
Yeah.
He went fishing. And that's what he caught, because that's what he used. So you got to pay attention. You have to be intentional in dating. You have to be very intentional when you're dating. One thing that we didn't talk about that women want, and I know a lot of women can speak to this, like older women, right? Is a man's health. A lot of men don't go to the doctors. I work around a lot of medical situations, and there's a lot of men that they're not healthy.
Right.
They can't have walk and things like that. They on pills and stuff, but something led up to that.
Yeah.
So women, you have to cook. You have to cook for your men. Don't allow your men to eat out all the time, because it puts them in a bad situation, where he's not going to be able to show up, fully with the kids. He's not going to be able to show up fully in the bedroom, because his health is not together. So
women want healthy men.
Want healthy men.
That reminds me of something Louis Farrakhan always said. He always said that the kitchen is the woman's that's where the medicine is in the kitchen.
It is.
Like, you want to take care of your family. Everything you need is in your kitchen.
It is. But a lot of women have gotten away from that, because, we work. You have to have that communication and compromise. Men cook too.
That's right.
We both cook around here.
That's right. Around here too.
That's the way it should be. That's the way it should be. So don't always rely on eating out. You gotta be able to save.
Absolutely.
Hey man, I think we touched on just about everything. Anything else you got, Dub?
No, I was glad. I'm glad that Lady K joined us for this conversation. It was definitely eye-opening. I'm hip to a few things that I took some notes on. The listeners out there, man, the ladies and the gentlemen, I hope you guys took some notes. And if you didn't, listen to it twice and write some of this stuff down that Lady K hipped y'all to, man. As always, hit us up on IG at Dub and Trey. If you guys got anything for Lady K, email us at Dub
Send
and
it
Trey.
to Dub and Trey.
Email us at dubandtrey@gmail.com.
And I'm open to a challenge. If somebody disagrees with me, let's talk about it.
Yes.
Let's talk about it. I'm open to that.
And fellas, stop doing that one move. She don't like it, bro.
She don't like the one move.
What's your man's one move?
Hey,
right.
So, hey guys, I'm gonna hip y'all to something. If when that part came up and your woman giggled, you got the one move. That's you.
got the one move.
Just letting you know.
Yeah. And it's okay, man. Talk about sex, because believe me, both of y'all have different opinions about each other's sex experience with one another. So,
Lady K, I hope you're gonna join us again.
This was good. Thank you guys so much. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And I look forward to coming through once and every so often. So
yay. Let's do it. We out of here. Thank y'all, everybody.